Good morning, Tottenham fans, and happy Saturday morning to you all. And today we are here to answer the question, should Tottenham keep Sergio Reguilon or look to ship him on this summer? Now, I know many people's initial reaction straight off the bat, looking at the thumbnail and the title, will be, Dave, what are you talking about? It's clear he has to go. His injury record and the fact he hasn't played for Tottenham over the last 2 years. However, I feel beyond the surface level reaction, there are a number of compelling arguments to suggest that Tottenham should keep Reguilon this summer. So today, I'm going to put them out there to you and let you guys decide in the comments whether he should be kept or sold. So, let's get into it. Andrew's made it no secret last season that coming into this campaign, he wants to be able to be in a position to be able to challenge for trophies, often using questions from journalists to be able to emphasise and hammer home that point. In order to be able to comply with what Ange Postecoglou wants and maintain a title challenge on all fronts, you need a large squad to be able to do so. And within that squad, your squad players on the periphery are just as important as your first team players. The reasons being, if your starter ends up going out injured, you have a squad player, ideally, the same level or near enough the same level, so there is no real drop-off in terms of overall team performance, and you don't really have a weakness for oppositions to be able to go and exploit. And that simply right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why Tottenham have never been able to maintain their blistering starts to campaigns under 3 different managers, Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte, and Ange Postecoglou. So, in a world where Destiny Udogie gets injured, or we need to be able to rest or rotate with the amount of games that we're going to be playing next season, our current alternative is Ben Davies, who has proven he is far off the ability and level of performance that Udogie has been able to provide us when he has covered for him. So I ask you guys out there, who's better suited to provide an alternative to Udogie in Ange's system and the demands he places on his fullback? So we're going to start off defensively, and to give Ben Davies credit, he just about edges it on the C&I test. However, we cannot forget that this guy has been rinsed over the last few seasons by a number of wingers over the courses of campaigns when he has been tasked to step in. And defensively, he doesn't exactly set high barometer to beat either. Next, I look at the mobility and the ability to be able to get up and down the pitch like Destiny Udogie is asked to do, but also get up and get involved with the press like Destiny Udogie is asked to do. And for me, Reguilon wins that one, hands down. And lastly, when it comes to creativity, which we know was a huge problem last season for Tottenham Hotspur, Reguilon certainly offers more end product and output in the final third and going forward than what Ben Davies does. So looking at them 3 metrics, in terms of football and ability and what he provides on the football pitch, Reguilon is far more suitable as an alternative to Destiny Udogie than what Ben Davies is. So that brings me on to my next argument. Why has Reguilon not played for the last 2 years for Tottenham Hotspur? And why did Ange let him go last summer if Reguilon is a better alternative than Ben Davies, like I say he is? So let's start under Antonio Conte. Now, it was reported at the time that Ben Davies struggled to nail down a spot in the team and departed on loan to Atletico Madrid after he had fallen behind the pecking order behind Ben Davies and Ryan Sessegnon. But to be honest with you, I find that hard to believe, and I find that strange considering when Conte initially arrived, Reguilon was his first choice left back. So that brings me on to Ange Postecoglou. Why has he suffered the same fate under Ange Postecoglou? Well, Reguilon has answered this himself in an interview he gave just after leaving Tottenham Hotspur on loan. He said, "During pre-season, I was very happy and Postecoglou was happy with me. Also the staff. I was playing like a normal player all the games. The week before, I went to see Ange. I asked him, 'Do you want me at the club?' Ange replied, 'Yes. I have to do a list and you were in my squad.' So Reguilon says it was strange. The next day I was out of the training and I don't know what happened. I don't understand why one day is a yes and the next day is no. But I don't think it's performance reason. I think it's another reason. This is football. This is business. I still don't understand the situation." So I asked myself, is it a coincidence that Reguilon had fallen down the pecking order behind Davies and Sessegnon under both Antonio Conte and Ange Postecoglou? Personally, I think that answer is no. Reguilon is a much better player than both of them, and it's clear to me the decision has not been made on footballing-based decisions and what is best for the squad, but purely his omission has been business-based. So, here's my reasons on why I think it's business-based rather than football-based. Ryan Sessegnon qualifies as homegrown for the squad registration, and he was kept around purely as a box-ticking exercise rather than a decision based on what is best for the football team. As Sergio has been injured for the last 3 years and is never available for selection. So why would you keep someone around that is never available for selection over someone that is available for selection? Also, under the new criteria, Ben Davies also qualifies as homegrown for the Premier League squad registration, and it's reported that Daniel Levy is very keen to offload Reguilon's 53k a week wages. However, Ben Davies is rumoured to be on 80k a week and is also at the tail end of his career and is aging. So for me, it would make more sense to offload Ben Davies and keep Reguilon, as Reguilon is more better suited to Ange Postecoglou's style of play and system. So again, it's hard for me not to feel like this is purely a box-ticking exercise rather than one based on football again. And lastly, the reason why he was loaned out under Antonio Conte was not because he had fallen down the pecking order, same under Ange Postecoglou. It's purely because he is classed as a foreign player on the squad registration lists. And at the time, Antonio Conte wanted to bring in Ivan Perisic. So it's clear that Reguilon had to make way for him. And also under Ange Postecoglou, it's also clear that he had to make way for other options coming in. And for me, with how swiftly Ange Postecoglou changed his mind overnight, it seems like Reguilon has suffered the same fate, being loaned out again for box-ticking exercises rather than prioritising football reasons, which is a concern for me. Now, to address the point about Reguilon's injury concern, which I think is a legit concern, and if that's what you're basing your decision on, fair enough. However, I do think you have to factor in that Reguilon did get consistent Premier League football towards the back end of the campaign on his loan at Brentford, being a constant thorn in the opposition side. His creativity and his crosses was instrumental in helping Brentford being able to survive the Premier League drop as well, while also providing 4 assists on that run. So it's clear that he's starting to get back to some level of fitness. And if he can maintain that level of fitness over pre-season, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't consider keeping him around, considering what we already have. It's been proven that it doesn't work last season. And then lastly, because I know there's going to be some people that say he has 1 year left on his contract, we have to cash in. Now, it is reported that Tottenham Hotspur are willing to accept the loss on the initial investment they made on the player, and the reported fee they're willing to take as low as £10 million for someone like Sergio Reguilon. I ask you guys a question. What player are we going to get that's going to come in here and be able to compete with Destiny Udogie for £10 million? Without having to take money that's already been ring-fenced to be able to solve other issues within the squad. Now, of course, I know the last reaction, most people are going to say, Dave, Tottenham are absolutely rich. Why can't we go out and address all the issues? However, that would be an ideal situation in an ideal world, and we don't live in one. And under Daniel Levy, we know it's not going to happen over one night or over one summer. For me, it's a win-win situation for the club and for Sergio Reguilon. In terms of footballing reasons, Ange Postecoglou has a more suitable alternative to Destiny Udogie that suits his system a hell of a lot more. And it also means the transfer budget we currently have means we can go and buy in positions that actually affect what we're doing on the football pitch and will drive us on to a new level rather than prioritise a backup left back in case of a CDM, another winger, an out-and-out striker. So guys, I'll put my evidence and my case forward why I think we should be looking at this a little bit differently and keeping Sergio Reguilon. But I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments if you disagree. Please, let me know your thoughts. Smash that like button. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Remember, pre-season starts next week. Come on, you Spurs. In the mighty hands we trust. We never stop.